Hello, students. Hello again. So we continue with the workbook, also on lesson 1, our responsibilities. I am Saman and I'll try to help you go through the workbook activities for this lesson. Activity 1. Rewrite the following in your notebook using suitable punctuation marks and capital letters where necessary. So we talked about the punctuation marks in the textbook and apply that here to revise the given sentences here to be correct. And also remember to capitalize letters as necessary. So A, excuse me, is there a supermarket nearby? So you probably already see that this is a question, so you need to think of that as well. It has two segments in the sentence, so you should think of what other punctuation that is needed to make it clear in writing. And B, yes, there's one close by. And decide if you want to break it and if something should be capital, more than one perhaps. And then the next conversation, A, how do I get there? Or a continuation, so to say, how do I get there? And then that sounds like a question. What do you think? B, at the traffic lights, take the first left, turn, and go straight. So the third line here, it also implies it's a question. And the response of B to that, you see, it's a set of instructions. And so you need to think of where to break the sentence into, or I mean, if it's a complete single sentence, how would you address the punctuation? There could be more than one way of that. One way that's correct here, but remember to use the punctuation to make it clear. Then the box in number 2. I will read it out. You can, to help you understand a bit more what kind of punctuations that are needed here to clarify. Some things in life are as rewarding and fulfilling as owning a pet. So continuing might be a bit awkward without doing some punctuation. Whether it's a dog, cat, bird, or fish, the appeal is the same. Years of fun and unconditional love. Indeed, pets can actually satisfy many of the things people crave most. Companionship, communication, loyalty, and plenty of amusement. Perhaps that's why pets are so popular among the elderly and people who live alone. As human relationships grow frail with new technological development, the same bond between a pet and its owner offers a refreshing and comforting experience. Activity 2. Fill in the blanks in the given dialogue with the answers given. So the answers are given at the end in this box. So you need to choose which one fits best to which blank. So it's a conversation between a salesman and Mr. Pereira. So the salesman says, "Good afternoon, sir. May I help you?" "Good afternoon. Can I see that shirt on the top shelf, please?" And so you need to fill the answer that comes from the salesman from what's in the box below. And continuation, how much does it cost? Asks Mr. Pereira. Then again, you need to try to fill with the most appropriate response from the salesman. Then follows Mr. Pereira, 950 rupees. That's too much. And so you need to, again, be the salesman to respond correctly or appropriately. And says Mr. Pereira, "That's nice. How much is it?" there comes another response from the salesman. Mr. Pereira, that will be fine. So the salesman's response have to be filled here as well to fill so that the continuation of the conversation is met, and to connect with Mr. Pereira's statement again, that blue one's fine. Then again, fill the blank for salesman. Mr. Pereira, no, that's all I want. So it seems that they're ending the conversation. So it's salesman saying, then you can pay at the cashier. Says Mr. Pereira, thank you, and you're welcome from salesman. So let's take a look at the sentences that are given for you to fill the blanks. First, do you like this color, or would you like a different color? Do you need anything else, sir? 750 rupees. How about the one next to the black t-shirt? It's very similar to the one you like. Sure, here it is. It's 950 rupees. Now we move on to the third activity. Imagine you are the secretary of the Environment Society of your school. You have invited the headquarters inspector of the nearest police station to speak about vandalism at your next meeting. Write a notice to inform this to the students. Include the necessary details. So when you are going to write this, think of the information that is suggested for you to use. So for instance, you are the secretary of the Environment Society of your school, and you're inviting the headquarters inspector of the nearest police station, and to speak about vandalism at your next meeting. So your next meeting, you need to also state the time, date, venue, all that. And so this notice is to inform this to the students. And you can be creative and try to proofread and even ask a colleague, a friend, to see if he or she understands it and see how they can help you to improve, and you can do the same for them. And that always is a valuable learning experience. Activity 4, and before moving to activity 4, actually, I should also remind you here, this is a notice, so you don't want to write too much, but you need to write what's important so that people can come to the expected event. So remember that too. People don't like reading long sentences, excuse me, or too many text. Activity 4. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the word given in brackets. Excuse me. We saw very something that has to do with beauty. Fill in the blanks with the correct form of the base word beauty. So we saw very blank, beautiful, or beauty. Giving you the example here, so beautiful flowers in Peradeniya Botanical Garden. So likewise, think about how you should fill the blank on each 2 to 5. The speech given by the police officer was very to the students, something to do with youth. And number 3, the Mahaveli is the blank, something to do with long, length, river in Sri Lanka. Our trip to Kanneli was full of blank that has to do with enjoy. The winner of the marathon talked to the media very blank about his victory, and here is about happy. Fifth activity. You plan to go on an educational tour to a historical city in Sri Lanka. Write 5 instructions you would give to the other students who will take part in this tour. So these are instructions you would give to the other students who will join this tour. It is an educational tour to a historical city in Sri Lanka. So a given example is here: you must not disturb the other visitors. So think of others' responsibilities as tourists that the students should follow and fill here in the blanks. Sixth activity, read the folk tale. Folk tale is like that the story that comes from generation to generation about that originated many generations ago. So read the folk tale given below and answer the questions. So the title or the name of the story, folk tale, is The Man Who Never Lied, an African folk tale. Once upon a time, there lived a wise man by the name of Mamad. He never lied. All the people in the land, even the ones who lived 20 days away, knew about him. The king heard about Mamad and ordered his soldiers to bring him to the palace. He looked at the wise man and asked, Mamad, is it true that you have never lied? It's true. And you will never lie in your life? I'm sure about that. Okay, tell the truth, but be careful. The lie is cunning and it gets on your tongue easily. Several days passed, and the king called Mamad once again. There was a big crowd. The king was about to go hunting. The king held his horse by the mane, and his left foot was already on the stirrup. He ordered Mamad, go to my summer palace and tell the queen that I will be with her for lunch tomorrow. Tell her to prepare a big feast. You will have lunch with me then. Mamad bowed down and went to the queen. Then the king laughed and said, we won't go hunting, and now Mamad will lie to the queen. Tomorrow we will laugh on his behalf. But the wise Mamad went to the palace and said to the queen, that is, maybe you should prepare a big feast for lunch tomorrow, and maybe you shouldn't. Maybe the king will come by noon, and maybe he won't. Tell me, will he come or won't he? Asked the queen. I don't know whether he puts his right foot on the stirrup or he puts his left foot on the ground after I left. Everybody waited for the king. He came the next day and said to the queen, the wise Mamad who never lies lied to you yesterday. But the queen told him about the words of Mamad, and the king realized that the wise man never lies and says only that which he saw with his own eyes. So, what do you think of the story? I think it's a very interesting folk tale or a story. It of course speaks about a person who doesn't lie, but it also brings some anecdotes or some lessons for us all to speak only what you see, speak about. So I thought I will take a look at this statement here a bit more and go through it with you. The lie is cunning and it gets on your tongue easily. So it's a nice way of saying it's very easy to lie. It gets on your tongue easily. Okay, moving on to the activities on this folk tale. Are these statements true or false? Indicate T or F against each statement. The name of the wise man is Mamad. The king's right foot was already on the stirrup. The king ordered Mamad to go hunting. The king did not go hunting, although he said so to Mamad. Mamad lied to the queen about the king. Then the next part, give short answers to the following questions. Who brought Mamad to the palace? What was Mamad's special quality? Where was Mamad ordered to go by the king? Copy the sentence which shows Mamad obeyed king's order. What did the king realize at the end? What do the following words in bold type refer to? It, you. Go back to the conversation, the folk tale, and try to find where it and you are made in bold or marked in bold. Find synonyms, number G. Find synonyms for the following words from the story. A large meal, understood. Seventh activity. Read the following sentences taken from the folk tale. They are all in past tense. The king heard about Mamad and ordered his soldiers to bring him to the palace. He looked at the wise man and asked. Several days passed and the king called Mamad once again. The king held his horse by the mane. Mamad bowed down and went to the queen. Actually, I should also mention this can be also pronounced bow. So you can check for the pronunciation to have the correct pronunciation, perhaps in British English, where people talk about bow or even Google Translate. So you could also say Mamad bowed down and went to the queen. And now let's describe a past event held in your school. Write a paragraph including what you did on that day. Some examples, sports meet, English day, it could be a school concert. So you choose what you would like to write about. Moving on to the 8th activity. Study the following pictures and write the story shown by the pictures. So note, use past tense and begin your story like this. Vimukti was, so this is Vimukti. And go through, before you write the story, go through the pictures and try to identify the activities and the happenings, occurrences that are portrayed in each of the box, each of the picture in each box. So here I have some help material, you could say, where I noted down what's happening in each box. You see here, this probably is the mukti. It's about eating a banana. And here, number 2, you see throwing the banana peel. Somewhere you have to explain more. You need to add more detail. This is just helping so that you can formulate, but then you need to explain better and you need to have the right tense, which is suggested to use past tense. And and coming back to the pictures, number 3, I see a dog barking at someone and someone is running. This is, and then number 4, Vimukti, stepping on the banana peel, slipping, falling, all that's happening here. And number 5, some people come and help Vimukti, who has fallen down, has slipped and fallen. And so you can think of the activity that's portrayed in number 5. And number 6, I see, this is really what you decide what you see, but I see something like they're talking about the banana peel. So explaining the consequences of actions, learning a lesson. So that is there. But these are just help material, but you can decide what you want to write depending on what you see in each picture. Moving to activity 9. Fill in each blank with the correct form of the verb, even in brackets. Yesterday, I had a very hard day. I got up early to go shopping, but as soon as I stepped out of the door, it begin to rain. So here I will help you with the first. So with the correct form. So it was a story about yesterday. And so I got up early to go shopping, but as soon as I stepped out of the door, it began to rain. So I blank, meaning have, but in the right form, to go back to the house and blank, something about get my umbrella. When I got to the supermarket, I realized I blank, that's about forgetting my shopping list. So I blank, meaning can't, but in the right form again, remember everything I wanted to buy. The cashier blank, in the base word is too busy to help me, so I blank, something to represent gather up a few items, and blank, something to represent carry them to the counter. After the cashier blank to represent finish filling my purchase, he blank to mean give me the wrong change and stuffed my groceries into my small shopping cart. I was not in good mood when I left the supermarket. So try to fill each of the blanks, thinking about the story and thinking about the tense that you need depending on the rest of the sentence, but also the adjacent sentences, especially the one that's before. Activity 10. As the Secretary of the Environment Society, write a letter thanking the officer who made the speech on vandalism. And that ends the activities on lesson 1 for in the workbook. Thank you, and I wish you good luck. Bye-bye.